I was scrolling through Instagram when a photo on my Explore page stopped me dead in my tracks. It was a selfie of me. The poster was an account named Julian_S, and the caption was a mix of confused and lovesick. Been dating this girl online for a year? Think it's time we finally meet, right? But every time I bring it up, she makes an excuse. Bros, what should I do? A second later, my roommate Madison popped her head down from the top bunk, a weird, secretive look on her face. Hey Chloe, what's the fastest way to lose 30 pounds in a month? Before I could even process what was happening, she added, her eyes glinting. Seriously, Chloe, if I lost the weight, don't you think I'd look a lot like you? I stared at the post on my phone. The comments were already a dumpster fire of internet savagery. Dude, wake up. You're being catfished. That's a stock photo, my guy. Do a reverse image search. You've been had. There's only one reason she won't meet you. She's a Victoria's Secret model in the pics and a human garbage disposal in real life. The OP Julian was desperately defending his girlfriend in the replies. No way. We've video chatted all night. Her voice is super sweet. Plus, she sends me new selfies from every angle every day. It can't be fake. My mind went blank. The silk pajamas in the photo were a new set I'd bought last month. I'd only ever worn them in our dorm room. I had never posted a picture of them anywhere. Just then, Madison's voice drifted down from her bunk again, laced with a strange obsession. Hello? I'm asking you guys, how do I lose 30 pounds in a month? Lipo? Or one of those crazy diet pills? My other roommate, Sarah, rolled over in her bed across the room, her laughter making the bed frame shake. What, Madison? Are you boy crazy again? 30 pounds in a month? The only way you're doing that is if you chop off a leg or just stop eating entirely. Madison ignored her. She climbed down the ladder, her bare feet padding across the floor to my desk. Her eyes were glued to my face, like she was trying to x-ray the bone structure beneath my skin. It was so intense it made my skin crawl. I instinctively pushed my chair back a few inches. She suddenly spoke, her tone dead serious. Chloe, look at me. Tell me the truth. If I lost the weight, I could really look like you, right? The air in the room felt thick and still. I looked up at her round face, puffy from a steady diet of junk food, and the words caught in my throat. My heart skipped a beat. I fought down the wave of shock and disgust rising in my chest. I tried to make my voice sound casual. So, who's this boyfriend? Does he go to school here? Madison lifted her chin, a smug look she couldn't hide spreading across her face. Ever heard of the Sterling family? The ones who donated the new library? He's the youngest son. Their family is in real estate and investment banking, a big deal on Wall Street. She flashed a triumphant smile, shaking her wrist. Last month was our anniversary of when we were supposed to meet, so he sent me this Tiffany diamond bracelet. He said he's going to introduce me to his parents on graduation day. Sarah, who was painting her nails, let out a loud snort. Julian Sterling? The rich asshole with the sports car? Wow, I guess his taste is unique. Madison's proud expression curdled, her face turning a deep, ugly red. What's that supposed to mean, Sarah? He loves me for my soul. Her voice went shrill, like a cat whose tail had been stepped on. He said, I'm interesting, that I understand his loneliness. What would a shallow person like you know about that? The dorm room fell silent. The atmosphere was as awkward as a Monday morning calculus lecture. On my phone, the post was still getting replies. Julian was asking for help again. I want to surprise her, just show up at her dorm. What kind of guys are girls like her into? I looked up at Madison's flushed face and asked carefully, have you guys ever actually met? Or is this a completely long distance thing? My other two roommates turned to stare at her. Madison, don't tell me you've never even let the guy see you in person. Girl, this is America and all, but you know you can get totally canceled online for catfishing, right? They were joking, but Madison's face went deathly pale. Her lips pressed into a thin, tight line. A moment later, she grabbed her hoodie and mumbled, my advisor needs to see me. It's urgent, before storming out and slamming the door. The three of us left in the dorm room just stared at each other. When Madison came back that night, she seemed to have pulled herself together, and she was back to her usual bragging. Julian knew I was in a bad mood today, so he ordered me takeout from Nobu. This must have cost hundreds of dollars. She held up a fancy black takeout bag, showing it off on her desk. But I got a clear look at the receipt. The name on it was mine, Chloe. I figured since she was using my pictures, she was using my name too, to make it all seem more real. My roommates were freaking out. Oh my god, Nobu? It's impossible to get a reservation there. Julian Sterling is really that into you? Madison, you totally landed a sugar daddy. Madison let out a small laugh and opened the containers. Of course. Julian says I'm the most genuine girl he's ever met in his fake, superficial world. Without anyone even having to ask, Madison started spilling all of Julian's secrets. He said he's sick of all those socialites. He likes girls like me, sweet, a homebody, someone who loves animals. She went on and on, lost in her own fantasy. He also said he loves my long hair and that I look best in white dresses. You know, that clean, fresh girl next door look. But your hair is a bob. And don't you live in hoodies? Sarah pointed out. Madison choked on her words for a second, then got angry and changed the subject. So, he likes long hair and white dresses, huh? Julian Sterling? This boyfriend who had just fallen into my lap? I decided I'd be happy to take him off her hands. Saturday. I picked out the perfect white sundress, a French style that was both innocent and a little bit sexy. I let my long hair down, using a single claw clip to casually pull some of it back. The girl in the mirror was exactly the type that rich boy would go for. I waited for almost half an hour by the Starbucks near the campus gym. Finally, Julian walked out, carrying his gym bag. He'd just finished a game. He was wearing a simple white athletic tee and gray sweatpants, the classic all-American jock look. He was tall with lean, defined muscles. My heart started to race, but it was more from the thrill of my impending revenge. I took a deep breath and set my expression. Just as he was about to round the corner, I pretended to be looking down at my phone and took a sharp step to the side. Oh my god, I gasped. I crashed right into his chest and the books I was holding scattered across the ground. The scent of expensive woody cologne hit me. He He instinctively wrapped his arm around my waist to keep me from falling. I'm so sorry. I looked up in a panic. The sudden movement made my hair tumble over my shoulder, the ends brushing against his arm. Julian was stunned by the sudden collision. He looked down at me, his eyes widening in complete and utter disbelief. He started to say, but I cut him off. Sorry, so sorry. I'm late for class and I wasn't watching where I was going. I quickly steadied myself and bent down to pick up my books, careful not to make eye contact with him for too long at this close range. I quickly mumbled another sorry about that, then turned and walked away. I could feel his intense gaze burning into my back. He called out, "Hey, wait a minute." But I didn't slow down. I walked even faster. I hurried away, heading straight for the library. The footsteps behind me were getting closer. "Miss, please, wait." I ignored him and kept walking. "Hey, please, just wait." He finally caught up, grabbing my wrist. I spun around like a startled deer, my face a perfect mask of alarm and defensiveness. "What are you doing?" I yanked my hand back and took a step away, my eyes filled with the kind of wariness a college girl has when she's being harassed. Julian was out of breath, a light sheen of sweat on his forehead from his workout. He was staring at me, his expression as complex as an unsolvable math problem. He seemed to be struggling for words, rambling a bit. I spoke first, my voice tinged with offended innocence. "I already apologized. I really didn't mean to run into you." I frowned. "If you don't need anything else, I have to go." He was stunned, his brow furrowed, like he was trying to figure out if he was dreaming. "You don't recognize me?" he finally asked, a hint of doubt in his voice. I looked up, blinked blankly, and then couldn't help but let out a small laugh. It was a light, amused sound. "Should I recognize you?" I tilted my head, my gaze clear and direct, showing nothing but pure, unadulterated cluelessness. "Listen, handsome," I said, dragging out the word with a teasing smile. "Is this some new pickup line? Because it's a little cheesy." Without giving him a chance to respond, I gave him a little wave and turned towards the campus bus stop. "Have a nice day." I could feel him standing there, frozen like a statue, watching me walk away. But he didn't try to follow me again. My heart was pounding the whole way back, but I kept my face calm. When I opened the door to my dorm, Madison was showing off a brand new Chanel bag to our other two roommates. "Look what Julian got me for New Year's." She tilted her chin up, her voice dripping with vanity. "It's the new Chanel bag and a couture dress. Oh, and he just sent me another $5,000 for spending money." I didn't say anything, just quietly took off my shoes. She glanced at me and made a tisk sound. "Chloe, it's such a waste. You have a face like that and all you do is work for minimum wage at that coffee shop." She looked me up and down with contempt. "You should really learn to use your assets. Finding a sugar daddy would pay a lot better than serving coffee." I put down my water bottle and smiled, not taking the bait. Just then, her phone rang. When she saw the caller ID, a flash of panic crossed her face. She took her phone out to the balcony, lowering her voice and answering in a sickeningly sweet, babyish tone. I could still catch a few words and she sounded desperate and eager to please. A few minutes later, she came back inside, looking pissed. "Hey," she said to me, a little awkwardly. "Send me a selfie of you right now. I need it immediately." I knew what was up. Julian was starting to have his doubts. "Sure," I said breezily, not asking any questions. I opened my camera roll and deliberately scrolled past a few normal pictures. Finally, I picked one I had taken that morning before I left, wearing the white dress, smiling brightly and innocently in the sunlight. I sent it to her. As soon as Madison got the picture, she started furiously typing on her phone. I pretended to organize my desk, but I watched her out of the corner of my eye. Her brow furrowed deeper and deeper as she stared at the screen, her fingers flying. It looked like she was in the middle of a heated argument. Finally, she threw her phone onto her bed in frustration. She muttered to herself, "What the hell is wrong with him? Why is he being so weird today?" I looked down, trying to hide the smile spreading across my face. The next day, I went to my part-time job at the boutique coffee shop near campus like usual. An hour later, right on cue, Julian walked in. For a guy from the Sterling family, finding out where a girl worked in this small town was laughably easy. His footsteps stopped at the counter. I kept my expression neutral and offered a standard professional smile. "Hi, welcome. What can I get for you today?" He didn't even look at the menu. His eyes went straight to the name tag on my apron, Chloe, and then locked onto my face. "We meet again."